Emma, a 25-year-old woman, sat in her small apartment, looking at her phone with a worried expression. She had just received a hospital payment notification along with a power cutoff notice, and she couldn't pay. Desperate, she decided to ask a friend for help. With trembling fingers, she typed the message. "Nicole, hey friend, I need an urgent favor. Can you send me a pack of diapers? Brian's been sick because of teething and is going through a lot of diapers. I promise I'll pay you back next week." She hit send and sighed, hoping her friend could help. However, fate had other plans. The message didn't go to her friend, but to Nicolas, her ex-husband, from whom she had recently separated while pregnant and without him knowing. Nicolas, a 35-year-old man and CEO of an engineering company, was in his office reviewing some reports when his phone vibrated. He picked up the device and saw Emma's message. His eyes widened in surprise. It had been a while since he'd heard anything about her life. "Nicole, hey friend, I need an urgent favor. Can you send me a pack of diapers? Brian's been sick because of teething and is going through a lot of diapers. I promise I'll pay you back next week." His eyes widened as he saw Emma's name on the screen. He hadn't spoken to her since their separation, and the message caught him completely off guard. Nicolas read the message several times, trying to understand what was going on. Why would Emma be asking him for money? And why now? He leaned back in his chair, running his hand through his hair, trying to organize his thoughts. Curiosity and concern began to grow inside him. He knew he couldn't just ignore the message. He decided to respond. "Emma, is that you? What's going on? Why do you need diapers?" Emma, who was waiting for a response from her friend, was shocked to see Nicolas's message. Her heart raced and she felt a lump in her throat. "Nicolas, I'm sorry, the message wasn't for you. It was a mistake." Nicolas frowned, feeling there was more behind that message. "Emma, if you need help, you can talk to me. What's going on?" Emma hesitated, not knowing what to say. She knew she couldn't tell the truth, not now. "Nicolas, everything's fine. It was just a misunderstanding. Sorry for the trouble." Nicolas felt something was wrong, but decided not to push further. He knew he needed to find out what was happening. "All right, Emma. I'm transferring $5,000, hope that helps." He put his phone aside and took a deep breath, trying to calm his thoughts. Emma's message had awakened something inside him, a need to know more, to understand what was happening in her life. He couldn't just let this go. Nicolas picked up his office phone and dialed the number of a trusted friend, a private investigator who had worked for him on other occasions. "Hi, Nicolas. What can I do for you?" "Hi, I need a favor. Can you investigate someone for me? It's urgent." "Sure, Nicolas. Who's the person?" Nicolas hesitated for a moment, knowing he was about to cross a line. But the need to know the truth was stronger. "Emma, my ex-wife. I need to know what's going on in her life." The investigator paused before responding. "I see. I'll start the investigation immediately. I'll keep you informed." Nicolas hung up the phone and looked at Emma's photo that he still kept on his office shelf. He knew he was about to discover something that could change everything. Emma's request for separation had been very unexpected, and he still didn't understand why. As soon as Emma received the money borrowed from Nicolas, she paid the main household debts, giving her some relief, but she was far from paying off all the hospital bills where her father was hospitalized in the terminal stage of cancer. She thought she would come up with some coherent excuse for Nicolas later, as he had lost the right to know about her baby when he cheated on her and immediately accepted the separation request, Emma thought. As soon as Emma received the money borrowed from Nicolas, she paid off the main household debts, giving her some relief, but she was far from settling all the hospital bills where her father was hospitalized with terminal stage cancer. She thought she would come up with some coherent excuse for Nicolas later, as he had lost the right to know about her baby when he cheated on her and immediately accepted the separation request, Emma thought. A few days passed, and Nicolas was becoming increasingly anxious. Finally, James called back. "Nicolas, I have some information for you." Nicholas felt his heart race. What did you find out? From what I could gather, she's going through financial difficulties. It seems she doesn't have a stable job and is having trouble paying her bills. She goes to the hospital almost every day and stays there for a while. Nicholas was silent for a moment, trying to process the information. Could Emma be sick or dating a doctor or nurse? Pain and confusion overwhelmed him. There's something else, Nicholas. Seems she's hiding something. I couldn't figure out exactly what. Nicholas felt a tightness in his chest. He knew he needed to confront Emma, but he also knew he needed to be careful. Thanks, James. I'll take care of it. Nicholas hung up the phone and took a deep breath. He knew he needed to act cautiously, but he also knew he couldn't let this go. The truth needed to be revealed, and he was determined to find out what Emma was hiding. Emma's days were an exhausting routine, but full of love and dedication. Since discovering her pregnancy and her father's illness, her life had become a constant struggle to keep everything in balance. Little Brian, her son, was the light of her days, but also an enormous responsibility that she carried with all her love. Every morning, Emma woke up early, prepared breakfast, and got ready quickly. Brian, with his bright eyes and contagious smile, was the first person she saw when she woke up. She dressed him carefully, always choosing the most comfortable and beautiful clothes. "Good morning, my love," Emma would say, kissing Brian's forehead. "We're going to see Grandma Mary today, okay?" Brian would smile and babble, reaching out his arms to be picked up. Emma would take him to her neighbor's house, Mary, a gray-haired lady with a kind look, who had become a second mother to her. "Good morning, Mary," Emma said, handing Brian over to her neighbor's care. "Thank you for taking such good care of him." Mary smiled, taking Brian in her arms. "No need to thank me, Emma. You know I love taking care of this little one. He's an angel." Emma smiled back, feeling grateful to have someone she could trust. "I know, Mary. You're an angel, too. I'm going to see my dad at the hospital and I'll be back later." Mary nodded with a look of concern. "Go with God, Emma. And give your dad a hug from me." Emma waved and left, catching the bus to the hospital. The journey was long and tiring, but she did it every day without complaining. Upon arriving at the hospital, she went straight to her father's room, always with a smile on her face, even though inside she was falling apart. Emma's father, a man who had always been strong and full of life, was now fragile and weakened by illness. Most of the time, he was sleeping due to the strong medication he was taking. But there were days when he was awake, and these moments were precious to Emma. "Hi, Dad," Emma said, sitting beside the bed and holding his hand. "How are you today?" Emma's father slowly opened his eyes, a weak smile forming on his face. "Hi, sweetheart. I'm fine, thanks for asking." Emma felt tears forming in her eyes, but she tried to keep them under control. "I brought some photos of Brian for you to see. He's growing so fast." Emma's father smiled, looking at the photos with affection. "He's a beautiful boy, Emma. You're doing a great job." Emma felt her heart tighten. "Thank you, Dad. I just wish you could be with us, see him grow up." Emma's father squeezed her hand, trying to convey strength. "I know, sweetheart, but I'm here even if I can't be physically. And I know you'll take good care of him." Emma nodded, feeling determination grow inside her. "I will, Dad. I promise I will." They talked for a few more minutes until Emma's father started to get tired. Emma helped him settle into bed and kissed his forehead. "Rest, Dad. I'll be back tomorrow." He nodded, closing his eyes and falling into a deep sleep. Emma left the room, feeling the weight of responsibility and sadness on her shoulders. But she knew she needed to be strong for Brian and for her father. On her way back, Emma went straight to work. She had found a 4-hour job as a delivery person for goods and mail in a condominium near the hospital. Didn't pay much, but it helped with the rent. Emma picked up Brian from Mary's, thanking her once again for her help. Brian was always happy and well cared for, which brought immense relief to Emma. "Thank you, Mary. I don't know what I'd do without you." Mary smiled, giving Emma an affectionate pat on the arm. "You're a wonderful mother, Emma. And I'm here to help." Emma felt tears forming again, but this time they were tears of gratitude. "Thank you, Mary. You're an angel." Back at the apartment, Emma prepared dinner for Brian, played with him, and put him to bed. She sat beside his bed, watching him sleep, feeling a mixture of love and concern. Emma's life was a constant struggle, but it was also full of love and dedication. She knew she needed to be strong for Brian and for her father. And with Mary's help and the determination in her heart, she was willing to face any challenge that came her way. Nicholas was in his office, trying to concentrate on work, but his mind was elsewhere. He couldn't stop thinking about Emma. Anxiety consumed him as he waited for news from James, the private investigator. Finally, the phone rang. Nicholas answered immediately, feeling his heart race. "Nicholas, it's James. I have new valuable information for you." Nicholas felt a knot in his stomach. "What did you find out?" James paused before continuing, as if choosing his words carefully. "Emma was pregnant when you separated, and she hid it from you." Nicholas fell silent, trying to process the information. Emma was pregnant? Why hadn't she told him? Pain and confusion overwhelmed him. "There's one more thing, Nicholas. Emma's father got sick, and she spent all the separation money she had to take care of him. That's why she goes to the hospital almost every afternoon. She's also working at a condominium." Nicholas felt a tightness in his chest. He knew Emma always had a close relationship with her father, and the news of his illness made him even more worried. "She's alone in this, Nicholas. She has no one to help." Nicholas took a deep breath, trying to control his emotions. He knew he needed to act. "Thank you, James. I'll take care of this." Nicholas hung up the phone and leaned back in his chair, feeling overwhelmed. Determined, Nicholas picked up his cell phone and typed a message to Emma. "Emma, we need to talk. Can I meet you somewhere?" He waited, looking at the cell phone screen with a mixture of anxiety and expectation. Emma's response came a few minutes later. "Nicholas, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going through a difficult time right now." Nicholas felt a pang of pain reading the message. He knew he needed to be firm. "Emma, please. It's important. We need to talk about what's going on." Emma hesitated, not knowing what to say. She knew she couldn't hide the truth forever, but she also knew that revealing everything now could be devastating. "All right, Nicholas. We can meet at the park where we first met. At 10 a.m.? Nicholas felt momentary relief. "I'll be there." "Thank you, Emma." He put his phone aside and took a deep breath, trying to calm his thoughts. The shocking discovery had changed everything, and now he needed to face the truth, no matter how painful it was. Park was quiet at 10 a.m., with the sun and a gentle breeze blowing through the trees. Nicholas arrived a few minutes before the agreed time, feeling nervous and anxious. He knew that the conversation he was about to have with Emma would be difficult, but he also knew it was necessary. Emma appeared shortly after, walking slowly towards the bench where Nicholas was sitting. She looked tired and worried, with deep dark circles and a sad expression on her face. Nicholas felt a tug at his heart seeing her like this. "Hi, Nicholas," Emma said, sitting down next to him on the bench. "Hi, Emma," Nicholas replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "Thanks for coming. This park brings back great memories." Emma nodded, looking at her hands clasped in her lap. "What do you want to talk about?" Nicholas took a deep breath before starting. "Emma, I need to know the truth. Were you pregnant when we separated?" Emma looked up, surprised. "How do you know that?" "That doesn't matter now," Nicholas said, trying to stay calm. "I need to know why you hid this from me. Why didn't you tell me?" Emma hesitated, feeling tears forming in her eyes. I was so angry when Emily showed me the photos of your cheating that I immediately asked for a divorce, and you accepted so quickly you didn't even fight for us. I've already told you that I never cheated on you, Emma, and you preferred to believe your friend over your husband. Nicholas gave a sarcastic laugh. Has Emily ever told you that she came to our old house and offered herself to me? She didn't tell you, did she? She used to give me looks and was quite suggestive when we were still married inside our house. She was never your friend, Emma. Emma, with a pain in her stomach upon hearing this, said, She did that, with a choked voice. Yes, she did, and I never cheated on you. Those were manipulated photos. Anna is like a sister to me. And you fell for it. Nicholas felt a mixture of anger and sadness. Emma, didn't you think I had the right to know about the pregnancy? That I might want to be by your side to help you? Emma, tears starting to fall. But I was scared. And then I found out about my dad and my world turned upside down. Nicholas shook his head, feeling the pain grow inside him. I would never have left you alone, Emma. Not if I had known the truth. You deprived me of the chance to be by your side, to be a father to our child. Emma looked at him, her eyes full of tears. I'm sorry, Nicholas. I'm really sorry. Nicholas felt the anger begin to dissipate, replaced by deep sadness. And now? What are we going to do? Emma took a deep breath, trying to compose herself. I don't know, Nicholas. I'm going through a very difficult time. My father is sick and I'm out of money. I don't know how I'm going to survive next month, how I'm going to take care of the baby, or how I'm going to pay the hospital bills. Nicholas felt a growing determination within him. You're not alone, Emma. I'm here. We'll solve this together. Emma looked at him, surprised. You? What do you mean by that? Nicholas nodded. I want to be by your side. I want to be a father to our son. We'll face this together. Emma felt a deep relief mixed with renewed hope. Thank you, Nicholas. I really need this. Nicholas extended his hand and held hers, feeling the connection that had always existed between them. I'm here, Emma. Always. Let's go home. You need to meet your son, Brian. The heated discussion had turned into a promise of support and love, but both knew that the path ahead would be full of challenges. Emma was nervous but determined. After the painful revelation and the decision to give love another chance, she knew she needed to introduce Nicholas to Brian. It was an important step for both of them. She went to her neighbor Mary's house to pick up Brian. Mary, this is Nicholas, my ex-husband and Brian's father. Hi, Nicholas, said Mary, inviting him in. Nicholas entered, feeling a mix of anxiety and emotion. Hi, Mary. How are you? I'm fine. You don't need a DNA test. Brian is your spitting image, Nicholas, Mary replied, trying to stay calm. Come, he's here in the room. She led him to the room where the baby was playing quietly. Nicholas approached slowly, feeling his heart beat faster. When he saw Brian's little face, he couldn't contain his emotion. He's beautiful, Emma, said Nicholas, his voice choked. He has your eyes. Emma smiled, feeling tears well up in her eyes. He has a bit of both of us, Nicholas. Nicholas knelt beside his son, extending his hand to touch Brian's soft cheek. The baby looked at him curiously, smiling back. Nicholas felt a wave of love and emotion. I can't believe he's our son, said Nicholas, his voice filled with emotion. I missed so much time. But I'm here now and I want to be a part of his life. Emma nodded, feeling her eyes fill with tears and hope growing within her. I know, Nicholas. And I want you to be a part of his life too. We'll build this family together. Nicholas looked at Emma, his eyes filled with determination and love. I promise I'll be here for you both, Emma. Forever. They embraced, feeling the deep connection that had always existed between them. Brian, observing everything with his bright eyes, seemed to understand the importance of the moment. Beautiful, what an emotional moment, Emma and Nicholas. May your love blossom and may the trust between you never be broken again. Pay attention to who you bring into your home. Not everyone is a friend, okay, Emma? Thank you, said Emma, her voice filled with gratitude. I know we'll face many challenges, but I'm happy to have you by my side. I could never take care of everything without your help. The days that followed were filled with many changes. Nicholas moved into Emma's house to avoid major changes for Brian, who would miss his grandmother Mary greatly. Mary had cared for Brian while Emma was in the hospital, and she left her job as a helper in the condominium to spend more time with her son and husband. Through all, they had a lot to reconnect over. Several days passed while Emma was at home taking care of Brian. Then she received the devastating news. Her father, who had bravely fought against his illness, finally succumbed. The pain of the loss was overwhelming, and Emma felt as if the world was crumbling around her. Nicholas, who was at work, received the call from Emma. Her voice was choked with tears, and he immediately knew that something terrible had happened. "Emma, what happened?" Nicholas asked, concern evident in his voice. "Nicholas, my father, he's gone," Emma said, her voice faltering. Nicholas felt a tightness in his chest. "I'm on my way, Emma. I'll be there in a few minutes." He dropped everything and rushed to his car, driving as fast as he could to Emma's apartment. When he arrived, he found Emma sitting on the sofa, holding a photo of her father, tears streaming down her face. "Emma," Nicholas said, sitting down beside her and pulling her into a hug. "I'm so sorry. I'm here with you." Emma leaned into him, finding comfort in his presence. "I don't know what to do, Nicholas. He was everything to me. And now he's gone." Nicholas hugged her tighter, feeling her pain as if it were his own. "I know, Emma. But you're not alone. I'm here with you and we'll get through this together." The days that followed were difficult. Her father's funeral was a moment of deep sadness, but also of reflection. Nicholas was by her side every step of the way, offering support and comfort. After the funeral, Nicholas and Emma returned to her apartment. The silence was heavy, but there was also a sense of peace. They sat on the sofa, looking at the photos of Emma's father spread out on the coffee table. "I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done, Nicholas," Emma said, her voice still choked with emotion. "You've been by my side every moment, even after everything that happened." Nicholas held her hand, looking deeply into her eyes. "Emma, I never stopped loving you. Even when we were apart, you were always in my heart. And now, with everything we've been through, I know I want to be by your side forever." Emma felt tears well up again, but this time they were tears of hope and love. "I never stopped loving you either, Nicholas. I was just angry, resentful, and scared. But now I know I want to be with you. I trust you, and I want us to be a family." Nicholas smiled, feeling a wave of relief and happiness. "Then let's give our love another chance, Emma. Let's build the family we always wanted." Emma nodded, feeling a renewed determination. "Yes, Nicholas. Let's do this together." They embraced, feeling the deep connection that had always existed between them. The pain of loss was still present, but there was also a renewed hope and a love that seemed stronger than ever. In the days that followed, Nicholas and Emma began to rebuild their lives together. They moved into a new house, a place where they could start fresh and create happy memories. Nicholas was by Emma's side every step of the way, offering unconditional support and love. Emma's pregnancy progressed, and they began to prepare for the baby's arrival. Nicholas was present at every doctor's appointment, every ultrasound, every important moment. They chose the baby's name together, discussed plans for the future, and started building a life together. The emotional roller coaster had brought a series of challenges, but it had also strengthened the love between them. Nicholas and Emma knew that the road ahead would be filled with ups and downs, but they were determined to face everything together, for the love of the child who was coming and for the family they had always wanted. And so, with hearts full of hope and love, Nicholas and Emma began a new chapter in their lives, ready to face whatever came their way together.